I do not understand what I do, for what I do, I do not, for what I want to do, I do not do, but what I hate, I do. And if I do what I do not want to do, I agree that the law is good. And if it is no longer I myself who do it, but it is sin living in me. I know that nothing good lives in me, that is, in my sinful nature or in my flesh, the Greek word sarx there. For I have the desire to do what is good, but I cannot carry it out. For what I do is not the good I want to do. No, the evil I do not want to do, this I keep on doing. And people call this the Dr. Seuss verse. I get it. Yeah. Now, if I do what I do not want to do, it is no longer I who do it, but it is sin living in me that does it. Sam, I am. To see what Paul is doing here, we need to look at the broader context of this passage. Okay, so let's do that. Okay, this is really important. Context is king. So what is Paul doing here? Well, you need to understand, first of all, he's going somewhere. He's doing this on purpose. There are different understandings to this passage. I'm going to give you mine. Okay, and again, if you want to come and discuss this with me, I welcome that. I'm a work in progress. I'm continuing to grow and learn. If you're willing to continue to grow and learn, we can have a conversation. Okay? All right, me and you. All right. So in Romans 7, this is my understanding, Paul is using a rhetorical I. Now why is he saying I? He's using a rhetorical I. Josh and I were talking about this the other day. He could probably explain it better than I can. But it's something his audience would have recognized in a technique that he also uses elsewhere in his writing and the word. And in the ancient world, this was also a common way to give a voice to a shared experience. So here, Paul represents the universal human struggle with sin. From Adam, right? It started with Adam, then to Israel, who were under God's law. So it covers all of humanity, from Adam to all of humanity, and then a specific branch of that under God's perfect law, objectively defined is Israel's experience. Paul can resonate with all of that. He gets all of it. I'm a Jew. I'm a human. I'm born of Adam. I get it. So, Paul knows this struggle personally, which is why his words resonate so deeply. He intentionally draws his hearers into agreement. He's doing this on purpose, right? Yet, yes, we hear this like, yes, Paul gets it. This is exactly what it feels like, right? And we nod our heads along. Like, that's what he's trying to do. But that's not the point where his hearers were meant to stop. The real question is, why does Paul bring his hearers to this point? What's he doing? For what purpose? He leads them into the cry, who will rescue me from this body of death? He leaves this cliffhanger. He brings out that cliffhanger because he doesn't want them to stop there, right? I stopped there and you guys, hey, wait, there's more, right? I hope. His goal is not merely to relate to their struggle, to his hearers' struggle, but to bring them to the end of themselves so that they will look outside of themselves for a rescuer. Anybody know who that might be? His name's Jesus. So Romans 7 is powerful because Paul understands and describes the struggle and intends it to produce a desperate cry for freedom from his hearers. Then he says, Christ is the one who gives the freedom. And then you get into Romans 8 where he unpacks. What is this freedom like? Okay? So the lens you need to understand this passage. Okay, ready? Paul is describing two contrasting ways of serving God or living for God. The old way and the new way. In Christ, we find the dividing line. The end of the old way, the beginning of the new way. Okay? If you don't get that, you're stuck with this passage just comforting you in your sin, but not pulling you out of it. There are two totally different operating systems with two totally different power sources that Paul was talking about. And one leads to condemnation, and the other one leads to freedom and life. Okay? How do you know which one you're operating under? Do you feel condemnation? You're operating under the old one. Do you feel life? You're operating under the freedom of Christ.